Welcome to the morning show with Dave and Rob on the Southern Fried Podcast. We get you up, we start you right, we rock your mornings all the time. Grab your coffee and your smile, join on in for a while. Hear that rooster sing, coffee's ready for a fling. Southern Fried has news for you. Updates on life's going on, and maybe a joke or two. Get up, pray up, and coffee up. Welcome to the morning show with Dave and Rob on the Southern Fried Podcast. We get you up, we start you right, we rock your mornings all the time. Grab your coffee and your smile, join on in for a while. We got laughs, we got prayer, celebrate our nation every day. Love our vets, love our land. It's the home of the free and the land of the brave. Get up, pray up, coffee up. Welcome to the morning show with Dave and Rob on the Southern Fried Podcast. We get you up, we start you right, we rock your mornings all the time. Grab your coffee and your smile, join on in for a while. So come on in and have a blast, for a good time that will last. Start your day with a smile, with the hosts that do the most. And get up, pray up, coffee up. Welcome to the morning show with Dave and Rob on the Southern Fried Podcast. We get you up.
Sorry, didn't mean to tell it twice. Good morning.
Good morning.
New day.
David.
Well, kind of overslept a little bit, but got her done.
All right.
Monday morning, rocking a Monday.
Yep. We are rocking it.
Good morning to everybody. Hope your day is kicking off real well. Thanks for joining us and letting us be a part of that kickoff. And a new day for the Southern Fried, our own coffees.
Yes. We are on the ground and running.
Kind of was starting to push that out last night with some of the streams with promos. We'll continue that into today. And as people see that, some people see it a day or two after, but many see them immediately. So a new day for us.
Yeah. So we have our own coffee, the SFP brand.
40 around 40 blends, teas, got all kind of options. We'll load some of our new logos up into the merch store and get them on coffee mugs and stuff. We could have SFP cup and coffee. That's pretty cool.
Yes, it is. And I think you and I are officially both actual customers now.
We are. We are customers of our own coffee. I think it's it's like a most things like a 2 or 3 day. For most places it might take another day depending on where you're at, but most places fulfillment is pretty quick. It's not going to take 2 weeks unless you're on top of a mountain somewhere and they can't find you.
And then
there are places in America that's hard to find. I got a friend. He don't work there anymore, but I used to work with him. At least where he lives, the GPS always threw off the delivery drivers, and they would always go to his neighbor's house. So he said my packages always came by way of my neighbor. Every time they would drop off at my neighbor's house, neighbor would come home and say, "Oh, got another package."
Yeah. Wow.
And then good thing it wasn't Porch Pirates.
Yeah, no doubt.
Usually he would just let him know, "Hey, I got something on the way," so he would know to be on the lookout for it because they never got it right. It always threw them off.
That's like me. I got my mailbox up next to my uncle's because this road out here used to be so bad. A lot of times the mailman couldn't even make it down the road. I spent 4 years fighting them to finally get it fixed. And I still leave my mailbox up there. So,
well, when I came seeing you, the GPS turned me the wrong way.
Yeah, the GPS still does that down here.
I figured it out, but
yeah,
they'll
turn me in the wrong direction. But I do show up on the satellite map now when they take the one up in the air. You can tell I'm here. All right, I want to pull this up this morning. We have kicked off our Liga Ag Fest. They had their art show and dinner Saturday night. Yesterday they had their bake off. I didn't make it to, and I wanted to. Thursday, July 17th, this Thursday coming up, they're going to have the Mitchell Baker Farmer Appreciation Dinner. And this Saturday, July the 19th, we're going to have the Sawega Ag Fest Barbecue Chicken Cook-Off and the Sawega Ag Fest Festival. So the Pride Podcast is going to be there live for the Ag Fest Festival. Y'all come on out. If you're down here in this area, Milla and surrounding areas, y'all come on out and check this thing out. We're going to be there. Said all the booths are filled up on the inside. So we're definitely going to go out there and sample us some barbecue chicken. You darn skippy. And then it's going to wind up the next Saturday on July 26th at the beauty pageant. They're going to have the Swig Ag Fest Baby and Junior Miss pageant. And then at 2 o'clock, and then the Swig Ag Fest Teen and Miss pageant will be at 6 o'clock. We got some beauty queens down here. We got some cooking kings down here. It's going to be a fun couple of weeks. So let's get on out and support Camilla and our farmers, and let's make this a festival to remember, guys. Oh, me and David's going to be out there running around like chickens with their heads cut off. Well, maybe not quite like chickens with their heads cut off.
It's an old saying. I've never actually seen that, but my dad talked about it.
When you get do away with the chicken,
well, their bodies will sometimes do crazy things.
They will.
Take that head off. My dad lived on a sharecrop. And the person the sharecrop for had chicken houses. So they could eat all the chicken they wanted. He got sick of it. He wouldn't eat chicken for years. He said, I had chicken every day of my life. It wasn't until late in life he would go to KFC. He just never liked it.
Wow.
They could grow anything they want. They planted a lot of acres, something like 40 acres. They could grow all the food, but they had to take care of these chicken houses. He had a bunch of brothers and, sisters. And it was a farming. They were farmers. And then later on, my grandfather, once the kids were kind of up and grown, you lose your farm hands. He turned into an insurance salesman. But their early days was all on the farm, tending to chickens and growing crops and all that goes with that. But a lot of people don't realize just how close we're connected to those kinds of days. They think that's, something that way, 100 years ago. It's not that long ago, really. My dad was born in 41, so up in the 40s, 50s, into the early 60s, they were farming. Sharecropping, not just farming, they sharecrop.
Wow.
Tough times.
Yeah. Yes. That's a hard life.
And there's a lot of people in America probably don't even have a connection to that. They've just lost with time. They don't realize the whole idea of sharecropping. They don't even realize what that meant, Times were tough in the South for all people. Poor, very, very poor. But always had food on the table. Worked hard, played hard. My dad and his brothers, they played some really dangerous games, but that's how they occupied their time. They had this thing where it was pretty big back in the day. They would take knives and see if they could throw it between the gaps of your toes. I'm not playing that game. I don't want nobody throwing a knife at my toes.
No. I'm not letting nobody throw no knife at my toes. No. I look around and I'm still getting idiotic stuff posted on my page at times. And I had a thing here posted from U.S. Democratic Socialist, and they got a follow button right there, which I am not going to but it's one of those little memes or whatever. It says Mexico provided aid more quickly to Texas flood victims than Donald and Christie's FEMA. Congrats, everyone. Y'all know how screwed up FEMA is to start with. And all this help that Mexico sent was a 13 to 20 man team. They said 13 to 20 people. I'm getting conflicting reports on that. Either it was 13 or it was 20. I mean, come on. It's not like they sent a bunch of help. They barely got anybody across to help.
People don't realize how that's supposed to work anyway. The state asks for help if they need it. In the midst of it, there's not a whole lot you can do other than search and rescue. They asked for helicopters and stuff, and those were sent.
Yes.
But while the water is raging through the countryside, not a whole lot anybody can do. It's all search and rescue. And they did send help. They sent all that they were asked to send. Said, absolutely. What do you need? It's a play on words.
Yeah.
It's funny. It depends on. It really depends on who's in office. Now, we live in areas where to be federal actually has a bad name for a long time. Moonshiners and stuff, federals. They didn't want federals nosing around. And a lot of people would say, I don't have nothing to do with the federal government. Necessary evil. And others would brag about, feds but it switches around. It really does switch around. I'll be honest, I don't want a whole lot to do with the federal government. But what I want them to do is their job. Just do their job and not waste money and blah, 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 blah. Protect the country mainly. I mean, that's the main function of your government is to protect its citizens. And then after that, but really the state should be taking the lead on all. I said this back the previous administration when North Carolina got hit and everything else. Give them the resources. The money you're using comes from the state anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I thought set up regional emergency disaster zones, and in those zones have everything you need, and let the state, have access or have it be theirs anyway. Just fund it, and let them be able to put those things into practice. So they can respond quicker than trying to truck something from hundreds of miles away or whatever. And I'm sure they've got some sort of zones now, but let the state be the lead on that. They know what they need more than anybody else.
Yep.
And each state has its own emergency disaster prepared team. I know a guy that's on this. He's on the not the committee or whatever they call it, but the board for ones in Alabama and Georgia. They meet all the time. They meet with the local fire chiefs. They have disaster plans in place. They work on those things they might need. And so it's not like they just all of a sudden are hands out to the government. They just need sometimes extra support. Obviously, when it comes to the money, that's the big thing is the money.
Yeah, you're right.
The loans to be able to put people's lives back together. I would just like to see something put in place because sadly, the eventual odds are the administration is going to be filled with a different kind of president. And we go through the whole same crap again. If you go ahead and set it up now to where it's more state driven, then maybe we get around some of that. Because they were so inept in the last administration. I mean, they just left those people waffling in the wind, And if they want to brag on Mexico, come on.
Yeah,
they really want to go there? Really want to brag on Mexico?
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
Their contributions have been to poor people over the border, drugs over the border, cartels shooting across the border. You got to love it. Not.
Now they're raising Cain about alligator Alcatraz. Oh, you can't treat people like that. You can't do people like that. Oh, this is horrible what you're doing. I ain't seen a damn thing about Biden and them doing that and worse over the last 4 years. Didn't even report on it. They had people pinned up in parking lots out in the heat and everything else. Don't even report on it. Not a word to say. Come on, you jacklegs. There ain't no fairness or rightness in media anymore at all. There is no comprehensive news coverage. It's all politically oriented. All of it. Just about. It's all to make the American people feel smarter, I guess. I mean, why in the heck would you just go and report one side? Unless you're just catering to that side. You're just telling them what they want to hear. You're not telling them news. You're just telling them what they want to hear. It makes them feel smart.
And some people, if they only read one source of news, they just get brainwashed by that. They're not independent thinkers. They just go with what they see.
Yep.
You know.
We're going to tell you what to think and what to believe. You don't have to worry about that. We'll just tell you. And, it sounds like when we're talking about this, we're talking about the 1984 novel, the word police and all that kind of stuff. But really and truly, look around. If you've never read that novel, please do. And look around. It's very close, dude.
Yeah. And I really hate it when people say, you just don't understand. I hate that. Like I'm not intelligent, I'm not smart enough to figure it out, that I haven't studied on it. I hate when I say that. I say, listen, don't go there. You have one way of looking at it, I have another way. And then they start going, facts are facts. I hear that a lot. Facts are facts.
Okay.
I've got the receipts. I can show you the receipts. Facts are facts. Good morning, Miss
Good
Jim.
morning. Yeah. Facts and facts. No. There's facts, then there's distorted propaganda somebody put out. And it happens on both sides. It's not one side or the other. It's both sides, left and right. And, let's distort something and put it out there. Ugh. Just keep right on drinking the Kool-Aid.
I'm still always struck by Ronald Reagan's, his quote. The scariest words you'll ever hear is, "Hey, I'm here from the federal government. I'm here to help from the federal government." He said that.
Yeah, I'm from the government. I'm here to help.
It's true. They don't usually help. It's usually a hindrance. Maybe it's changing, but government complicates things. Red tape, regulation, control.
That's probably one of the reasons why, like, FEMA goes out. All right, it's a predominantly white neighborhood that gets hit. Oh, we have to help so many people of color before we help these white people or whatever. I mean, they got numbers and stuff they have to meet, so they can prove that they're not being racist or whatever. Ugh. There's a lot of stuff that goes on with that. And you talking about red tape. And with red tape with FEMA, I hope they fix that where they just give them $250 to completely rebuild their lives with. They give them $250, then they have to reapply, then they get denied, and all this other stuff. I hope they fix some of that stuff. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That whole thing was almost an utter failure.
And all those people, I've seen some snarky comments online about people building in flood zones. We're talking a generational type flood. This 100-year flood plan or whatever. Well, how about all the rich people that build their houses right on the eroding shoreline of an ocean? They want people to have sympathy when their house falls into the ocean. These people didn't do nothing wrong. They're trying to say they weren't intelligent. They didn't build their house in the right place. Somebody built the house. They bought it. They just don't think about nothing like that happening.
And if people thought that much about it happening, nobody would live in New Orleans and the whole damn city. It's all in a flood zone.
Yeah.
You just trashed New Orleans. Talking about people building in a flood zone.
The people that talk about, well, I was smart. I built up on a hill. Well, you ever heard of mudslides?
Mm-hmm.
The side of a mountain can come crashing down. There are things that just can happen. I mean, when nature pours it on, if it pours it on enough, there's nobody safe. I mean, come on. I just hate that. While people are still being searched for, we got people out trying to be Mr. Know-it-all or Miss Know-it-all, snarky comments. Not even found all the people yet. They just found some kids here in the last day or so. It's heartbreaking. Let's pray for these families. I mean, the area I live has some really low areas, and I can remember times of really bad flooding. Scary.
It is.
And the people that say, well, I live up on a hill. Well, we had straight line winds that come through and knocked out mass amount of trees, destroyed property and homes. That's happened some in the last few years. Well, the people that were down low, they didn't get damaged much because it mainly was hitting, up on the sides of those hills. And so it doesn't matter where you are. You have a different level of danger that can come from weather, tornado, hurricane, whatever it is, massive amounts of water, the rain coming down itself, flooding, Man hasn't solved flooding yet, and he's not going to.
No.
When you put millions of gallons of water in an area, your flood plan goes out the window.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's just amazing. It really is. But that's the way people are.
When they were working on my road out there, they were trying to actually fix the water runoff from the top of the hill. All right, we'll fix this up here, and that'll control the runoff at the bottom.
Yeah.
When you're dealing with that kind of intelligence, it's kind of hard to function.
Well, and some people get elected, they really don't have a clue about some of that stuff. They just got elected. They may not have any experience with dealing with anything like that. But my heart goes out to them. You know. Birthdays today. Conor McGregor is 36 years old. Oh, Conor. He gets him. Franklin Graham is 72. Opposite ends of the spectrum there. Who else here? I wanted to cover one more. I'm trying to remember who it was. Gerald Ford. Born this day, on this day, 1913. Gerald Ford. ex-president of the United States of America, was known as a bad golfer, wearing ugly golf pants. He had a bad slice in his game.
Yes.
I have elections tomorrow. It's a runoff election. We'll have a few come in, so we'll be back together, the gang. I'll probably try to come on when I get home if I'm not too awful tired. And but that's, glad to take part, glad to get together the team. We've got to meet at election headquarters today, and I'm the backup key holder for the precinct. I always tell the manager, you can't be out. I don't want nothing to do with that. Nah, we could do it. There's help there, and I know. I'm always glad when I see him when we get to the precinct. He pulls up. I'm like, praise the Lord. We support each other. And then the next will be in the fall, the fall will be November. There'll be a small election, but next year, big election, midterms. So that will be very big. Don't forget, folks, tonight we have Mama Said, Miss Elizabeth, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And the coffee shop is open. Please visit. We'll have other things that go in our Shopify shop, but right now our coffee shop is attached to our Shopify, and we'll be expanding that given time. I want to say I appreciate Angry Conservative 1981 who rated the channel last night, brought some folks with us or to us, and they were nice enough to give us a follow. Thanks so much. And to James, Empty Pockets Podcast. Both these are Rumble creators, podcasters. Please give them a follow. Great folks. James come up, and we had a good discussion. He's a good guy. Both of them are Angry Conservative and Empty Pockets Podcast.
Dave, you've got control over that. Can we ban that one?
I cannot do that right now. I was trying to ignore it. I don't have the ability right now to do that. So just so you know, there's just nothing I can do at this moment. So I'll take care of it. I just can't.
Thank you.
I can close the channel. That's all I can do. That's what you want me to do. But I can't. For right now, I just can't. It won't let me. So.
Okay. Well, guys, I'm going to apologize for that guy that's out there spewing that stuff. I guess this will be his last day on the show, period. That just... That's why there's two of us on here. Somebody can talk and type, and some other one can talk and go. And sometimes you just have people that absolutely try to turn somebody else's podcast into their political platform. And that is not what we're about. So.
Yeah. Yeah, Miss Jen, coffee.
The coffee is up and going. It is here.